Okay, guys, this video should not even exist. You're going to see why. This document should not exist. This process should not be possible. And it is, which is why I'm the only one who is going to be able to tell you this. This might be one of the most important videos you'll watch. You've probably already been picking up on these patterns. Someone like me who can really see, what's happening online right now. Okay, so engineering perception, this should not exist. A note before we start, this document describes something that most people can feel, but cannot name yet. So I'm naming it. If you produce any or consume any form of marketing, AI, or social media content, you've probably started to pick up on this shift. The way that language that's spoken hits differently, the way that certain phrases that are shown to you just seem to bypass your rational thought entirely and start having you go through loops of perception and identity around, other people, other things. And now you're, perceiving this as reality from other people. The way that people then repeat back word for word the things that other people say without realizing that they've actually programmed their subconscious from language that is literally shaping their entire identity. And we're going to go over language models. And that's why this shouldn't be possible. Okay. So this isn't a theory. It's happening right now. And this isn't just another document I'm making. I only make these rarely. This is happening on every platform that you use. And most people have no idea that they're inside of it. Okay. So what follows is a breakdown of the psychological architecture being deployed by anyone who actually understands what large language models are capable of doing and the impact that it can have on human communication. It didn't just make producing language faster, it literally made capitalism itself a language game. A language game. And whoever controls language, guys, controls the prediction of the human behavior. So here's the thing nobody's able to say out loud. What's changed over the last 18 months that nobody mainstream creator or marketer can say or admit because it'll collapse everybody's perception entirely? Well, the majority of language that you read online is no longer written by humans, or the majority of language you hear online is no longer written by humans. Now, stay with me on here. Not the tweets, the emails you get from these people, the video scripts, the ad copy, not even some of the personal direct messages that you get from creators that you follow are human anymore, or were human written then automated. They are now written by a language model. Okay. And bear with me on this. It's written by something like GPT, Claude, Gemini. Oh, wow. Huge, whatever. No, wait till I tell you this. Or some model trained on a limited context of their high converting examples of ads, videos, emails, etc. that copywriters used to write and creators used to just produce. But here's the part that should genuinely scare you. Okay? The models are better at persuasion than the humans who trained them. Why? Because they pattern match across billions of sentences. They know what structures make somebody click and what phrasing actually makes people buy something. The emotional triggers that bypass skepticism. They don't guess these language models. They literally calculate it and produce language that we project meaning onto that is now on these platforms. Okay. And now every brand influencer or sales team has access to this calculation, but not everyone is doing it. Like a very, very few amount of people, which is why I'm making this video, have access to the precise calculation I'm going to show you, which means that the entire internet itself is becoming a linguistically optimized persuasion environment designed to shift perception without you even noticing. You think you're scrolling, you're being trained. I will show you in real time. So here's the prediction engine that you didn't even know you had. Your brain is not processing reality. It's actually predicting reality. Every moment, your nervous system is generating a forecast of the future. Based on past data, here's what I think will happen next. Here's what this situation means in my life and the meaning I project onto it. Here's what I should do. Those predictions up here aren't logical. They're linguistic. Now, the words that you use to describe yourself, I'm not good at this, I always quit, people like me don't do that, are not observations. They're cached predictions running on a loop inside of your neural architecture based off of your past, trauma, emotions, identity, etc. And every time that you read something, or you hear something, or you even say something, the prediction in your brain updates your identity, your sense of self, which means now whoever controls the language that you are consuming controls the future that you expect. Most people think that marketing is about getting attention or building trust or adding value. No. Marketing is prediction installation. It's always been at some level, but now we have language models, which I'm going to get into, that are crafting this language. Okay. So, and if you understand this architecture around how predictions form and stabilize and collapse, you can rewrite and influence human behavior in real time. That's what this framework is. So here's the 3-layer system running underneath every decision that you make. And this is from Chase Hughes' model, who was hired by the CIA. He's on TikTok, and he reprogrammed my brains through the things he said. Okay? If you want to shift behavior, and I mean actually shift it, not just get somebody to engage or consider, you need to operate across these 3 layers simultaneously. Most marketers, creators only touch 1, maybe 2 if they're talented. But unless all 3 of these move at once, the prediction does not update. And if the prediction doesn't update, then nothing changes. So, layer 1, perception, the internal prediction. This is the story that you are telling yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. I'm not a leader. I don't have what it takes. This isn't for people like me. These aren't facts. These are predictions from old past experiences, internalized feedback, identity labels, trauma that was installed years ago by your parents, your teachers, your peers, or culture. Most people don't even know, neither did I at some point, that I'm running these predictions off of my past. They just feel like certain things aren't for them. Your job is not to argue with this prediction. It is to destabilize it when you're doing this framework by showing them an alternate angle that they didn't consider. So when you are getting somebody to perceive something, your job isn't to argue with this prediction of I'm not a leader, I don't have what it takes, this isn't for people like me. Your goal is to destabilize this prediction in the human brain by showing them that there's an alternate angle that they did not consider yet. Okay? Perception, layer 1. Layer 2, context, the environmental rule set. Context is the invisible operating system that tells you what rules are in any given situation. You act differently in a boardroom than at a party. You speak differently in a text thread than on a stage. You make different choices when you're alone versus when somebody is watching you. Context defines to you what feels normal and what feels transgressive. And here's the exploit. You can change the context with language. A sales page can feel like a lecture, stressful, formal, you're being tested, or it can feel like a late night conversation with someone who finally gets it. Relaxed, intimate, safe, same information, totally different context, totally different behavior. Most brands accidentally create high pressure contexts that make buying feel like a gamble. The ones who will win are those who create context where buying feels like recognition of who you already are. Layer 3, permission. And this is from Chase Hughes, okay? The emotional unlock. Most people already want what you are offering. and what I'm offering. They just don't feel like they're allowed to have it yet. Why? Well, because acting upon this means that they're being seen before they feel ready. They're spending money that should go somewhere safer. They're choosing wrong and looking stupid. They're disrupting the comfortable identity that they've been living in. Okay? They need somebody to hand them this permission. Not in a, you got this, come on, you got this motivational way, in a way that removes the imagined consequence and makes action feel inevitable instead of risky. This is the layer that most marketers miss entirely. They think if they just explain the value better, that people will act. But value was never the issue. The issue is that people don't feel permitted to claim this value from you. So you give them the permission by reflecting back the version of themselves who already decided, not as aspiration, as recognition. You've been waiting for a sign. That's it. That's not motivation. That's permission. You've been waiting for a sign. This is it. You've probably been waiting for a sign watching this video. This is it. Boom. Ha. Did you see what your brain just did? It just predicted the next behavior. Okay? So why did this just become exponentially more dangerous? Well, before large language models, language, or AI, was bottlenecked by humans. So if you wanted to write an email sequence, you had to sit down and write it. If you wanted to script 100 videos, that took time. You had to hire somebody. If you wanted to A/B test 50 landing page variations, you needed a team. That bottleneck is gone now. Anyone can now generate infinite variations of optimized language in seconds, test it, deploy it, let the algorithm surface what works, then generate more of it based on what converted. The internet is becoming a self-optimizing linguistic persuasion system. And here's the part that keeps me up at night. The average person has no idea that this is happening. They think they're reading a relatable post from a creator they follow. They don't know that that post was generated by GPT-4, tested across 3 variations, optimized based on their click-through rate data from 10,000 previous examples, right? They think they're getting an email from a founder. They don't know that the founder's entire email flow was trained on behavioral psychology principles, a large language model trained on behavioral psychology principles and engineered to collapse objections in the conversation flow in a specific sequence. They think they're watching an authentic video. They don't know that the script was written by an LLM trained on millions of high retention YouTube transcripts and then the sentiment from the comment sections related to how they felt about these things being spoken. The language feels human. The psychology, though, is automated. And every single message is, one, a training input for the algorithm, which learns what works and then shows it to more people, or a training input for the audience's prediction engine, which updates its model based on the repeated amount of exposure to that information. Okay? You are not just consuming content anymore. You are being linguistically conditioned by systems that are designed to update your internal predictions about what you want, who you are, and what you're supposed to do next. And the scary part, it works. So what this looks like when somebody uses it. Let me show you the difference between standard marketing and precision perception engineering. These aren't better headlines. They are designed to operate across all 3 of these psychological layers at once. Example 1, video hook. Standard generated by most AI tools. 5 steps to start your online business in 2025. Now, how about engineered using a psychological framework that produces language that breaks these layers down, that you then reloop? Okay? You think you're procrastinating, but really you're just stuck in a rule system that was never designed for you. Let me break it down to you. Okay? You think you're procrastinating, you're just stuck in a rule system that was never designed for you. The second version doesn't teach anything. It destabilizes a cached prediction and then creates a gap. Okay. And once there's a gap, people lean in because now they need the new operating system. Example 2, landing page, standard, GPT. Our platform helps you automate your business and scale faster. Okay, here's the engineered version now. You already built the thing. You just didn't know that you were allowed to charge what it's actually worth, right? The second version shifts the context from tool evaluation to identity recognition. The decision is no longer, do I need this? But am I ready to stop undervaluing myself? Completely different purchase psychology. Literally, completely different. Example 3, email, standard GPT. Last chance, sale ends tonight. Engineered to break these layers down. You already decided. You've been deciding for weeks. The only question is whether you would let this old prediction win again inside of your head. The second version grants you permission by framing hesitation as the pattern and action as the breakthrough. It doesn't push you, it reflects your identity back onto you. And reflection is always more powerful than persuasion. Here's the ethical problem that nobody wants to talk about. Language has always influenced behavior, whether it was a copywriter, whether it was speaking without a script, right? It's always been something that has been able to influence behavior. But it used to require humans, which meant it was slow, limited, inconsistent. Now it's automated. Now it's scalable. Now it's optimized in real time by algorithms trained on billions of behavioral data patterns, pattern matching them to your previous emotional reactions of interpreted meaning onto language that other people have spoken for you to feel things in. Okay, so we are entering in an era where most people will spend most of their day inside of this linguistically engineered environment that's designed to shift their predictions about themselves, and they will not know. Because it doesn't feel like manipulation. It feels like clarity, like someone finally getting it, like recognition. That's the exploit. Good persuasion doesn't feel like persuasion. It feels like truth. So here's the line. Ethical use of this framework removes confusion and returns agency. It helps someone see themselves more accurately, make better decisions, and with more confidence. Unethical use of this can create dependency and extract value. It can make somebody feel broken so much that they'll buy the fix. It'll destabilize them so much without offering a real path forward that it'll profit from this gap. The framework works either way that I'm going to give you, but only one of those builds something real. The other just extracts from you until there's nothing left. So, the moment we're in right now, most people think AI is still a tool, like a calculator or a search engine. It's not. AI is a linguistic operating system rewriting the rules of perception at scale. Every email you read, every ad you see, every video script, every organic post from a creator you trust, most of it is generated or shaped by models trained to optimize for behavioral outcomes, just like they were hired previously by people who were trained on shaping behavioral outcomes. And the people who understand this psychological architecture underneath this, the ones who know how to engineer perception, shift context, and grant permission to people using language, they are building influence systems that would literally be impossible 3 years ago. Impossible 3 years ago. This is not marketing anymore. It's reality engineering. And like you could see it coming up on my skin, guys. This is legit. And the general public has no framework for recognizing when this is happening to them, which is why this document probably should not exist in its current form, nor the system prompt I'm going to give you. Because once you see the structure, you cannot unsee it. You start noticing it everywhere. The phrasing, the pattern, the GPT speak, it's only going to get better. It creates language. These models create language, guys. But what does language do? That's what this document's about. The way certain messages make you feel like you're having an original thought of your own, right? When you realize you're really just running a prediction somebody else installed. And the question becomes, who gets to engineer the predictions? Right now, it's whoever understands this document, this video, and this framework, okay? Which is hopefully why you pass the filter and have access to tools like this, okay? Which is why you're reading this, okay? Because if you're going to operate in the post-LLM economy, you need to know what game is actually being played here, guys. And if this is truth, I'm speaking to you. Nobody else is going to tell you this. So, not so that you can be a victim of this game, okay? And if you are a victim of this game, then you wake up, okay? But rather so that you can choose whether to use it. And if you do, use it in a way that actually helps people instead of just extracting from them. So what do you do with this? This framework is not theoretical. It's deployed right now by every brand, creator, and company that understands what actually just happened to language over the last 3 years. The real thing that happened to language in generating it. Very few to none. So you guys can use it to write copy that updates somebody's self-concept in real time. Design content that bypasses logical resistance. You can build products people describe as life-changing because they shifted their internal prediction. You can train teams to communicate in ways that collapse objections before they form. You can engineer AI prompts that generate psychologically optimized language at scale, guys. Or you could pretend that this is not happening and you can shoot the messenger and you can keep wondering why your messaging sounds good but doesn't convert. The internet is a language game now. And the people who know how to play it are building influence systems that the rest of the world cannot even see. Not because they're louder, because they are precise. Okay? Here's an example, what you guys wanted. Generative language that collapses the gap between desire. So you're engineering context that is put onto a model that engineers language that others see themselves in, that shapes identity. That's why I said this document should not exist, but I'm here to give it to you and to show it to you, okay? You can screenshot it and look, but either way, it's inside of my group, okay? You can engineer context now, guys. If engineering context, the lens that's applied to an AI model, if you're still just asking GPT and you're not compressing context into the output of the language and then feeding it behavioral psychology and reactions and emotions in real time, here you go. Okay. And even better, this entire presentation was generated with this system prompt. So that's why this document should not exist. That's why this video should not exist, because it was generated with this and it probably worked. But the thing is, I used it ethically. I used it to help you understand reality better. I used it to wake you up to the patterns I'm actually seeing and using in real time, not to sit here and sell you some dream. I gave you the truth, okay? And you can accept this truth and you can rewrite your operating system with this truth, okay? But if this document disappears from the internet and I get banned or gets edited later, you're gonna know why, okay? Because some things are not supposed to be said this clearly. Preston Rhodes, I'll see ya.